Bobbi Wilson with Peace, Love, Paws Pet Setters with Bobbi in the boarding room. And today I'm super excited. I met someone yesterday actually, and I've been wanting to come over and meet with you guys. And yesterday you had your first year anniversary party, I guess I can say, over at your new facility.
Yep.
And I got to talk with you and view the facility and talk with all the great people that you had to help you out with your party. And it was wonderful. And so this is Dr. Martin with Country Vets in, tell me where you're really at.
So our address is Centralia, but we're actually much closer to Hallsville. But we're like smack dab in between Hallsville, Centralia, and the country. So.
I was super surprised because from here, we're in the boarding room at Hinton. And so if you guys know where that's out, that's really not very far away.
It's 22 minutes.
It's 22 minutes. She's got it.
I looked it up and I was like, oh, that's not far at all. So.
Right, it's not. And it's really homey out there because it is in the country, which kind of surprised me. It set my husband off a little bit. We're like, what? It's kind of out in the country too? So that was cool. So this is actually your first year in business, right?
Yes. Well, yes, for the small animal portion of our business. So, my husband and I are both veterinarians.
Oh, nice, nice.
We met in vet school and we graduated in 2015.
Okay.
He has ran an ambulatory large animal business out of his truck since 2015.
Wow.
So we had a base business, and I've been working at different veterinary clinics since graduation, some back home and then in the area here around Columbia.
Where's back home?
Southern Illinois.
Oh, okay.
So I worked there for 3 years and worked on mixed animal, lots of cows, lots of cats, lots of dogs.
Cool.
And when we got married, I moved back here and I started with relief. And so I just filled in clinics anywhere where I needed. One of those turned into a job for 3 years, and then we built our new small animal business last year.
Great. Their facility is so cool.
Yeah.
Quite amazing, and I really felt it's got a good size to it, but I really felt like it was homey, and so that's a really neat thing, and then especially where the location is and the atmosphere out there is really cool too. So you kind of told me like why you started your business in the sense that what your husband was doing and then what you've done, but why did you really go into this type of profession? Let's go that direction.
Ooh, this type of profession, well, that's all I've ever known is veterinary medicine. I've been working in vet clinics since I was in high school, so I've been the kennel assistant, I've been the bather, I've been the phone answer, the assistant, and now I'm the vet, and so it's really been like a lifelong career, and I sometimes get emotional because it's just like living the dream.
That's cool. Living the dream. I love that. I mean, because dealing with pets sounds like it's kitties and puppies and all that, but there is a lot to it. Even as a pet setter, there's a lot of things that people don't understand.
Yeah.
And I know during COVID and that kind of thing, it was hard for people, and there was a lot of emotional stress because we all couldn't do for the pets and see the pets like we had in the past. So the emotional kind of should be expected, but I don't think people understand it, right?
No, it's a really stressful profession. Like staff turnover is typically pretty high because we deal with sick and dying animals every day. Yeah. We deal with people's finances and we deal with their emotions. So we're typically seeing people on really bad days, and it's very straining. A brand new business, we attracted all these new applications, and everyone's like, I want to work in a vet clinic. And so whenever we would interview, we would talk about these horrible days, like the sad stuff that we would see. There's plenty of really amazing things that we do.
That's true.
But at the end of the day, it's still a business. I have bigger bills. It's very stressful with the bills and everything that you have to pay, and then your staff, and you want to have really good staff, but that means you have to pay them appropriately to keep them. And so you're trying to create this wonderful experience, but then, you know, even if someone has a dog that doesn't make it, it's the hardest part of it is still handing them a bill, but you have to, you know, you spend hundreds of dollars of the clinic's money, and now I'm seeing, you know, I see all sides of it now. It's come full circle. So
full circle, yeah. Yeah, because I mean, if you've worked for other vets and vets offices, you've got a lot of different experience that a lot of people probably haven't had because you started early, and that really makes a lot of difference. But I don't care what anybody says, and I know you will agree, when those things happen, you can't plan enough, and you don't know the reaction you're going to get from somebody, what you're going to get back. So it can be a strain, but at the same time, the good parts about it is overweighs.
It's very rewarding.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
That's true. I agree with that part, on our end anyway, for what we do. So I heard you say this to me yesterday, and we kind of spoke about it. And of course, yesterday you were having all kinds of fun stuff going on, and there's a lot of people there because you had, for the weather, you had a great turnout, I thought.
It was
and
cool.
You guys, yeah, it was cool. But you guys had some. When I was there, you had a lot of people there, and everybody doing tours and stuff. So I really didn't see like the day to day. But there was something that you told me that I think we really need to talk about, and I think that it makes you just smile when we talk about it. And that is an experience, that kind of service that you guys want to provide. I mean, that's like your goal. It's not like you're just doing it. It's like, this is our goal. And I really want to know about that, because I think our pet parents need to know about you guys and that what kind of experience that you're providing. And if they are looking for a vet because they moved into town or whatever, they might need to know about you. So you need to tell us.
Oh my goodness. I have so many things I love to share. Well, and you saw the facility. So like in mid-Missouri, it's probably the prettiest, nicest, most homey looking clinic. We want the feel to be very homey, very calming. We don't want it to smell like a vet clinic. And yesterday we did have a lot of animals in and out, but like my husband and I designed every aspect of that building.
Oh, nice.
And even the ventilation to help prevent like the traditional, you smell like a vet clinic, you know.
That's cool. That's cool.
All that planning came into it. So yeah, one of our missions is to create an exceptional experience. So we've created the clinic to where to keep pets as calm as possible. So one of the things is like our cat-only exam room.
Oh yeah, I was in there.
Yeah.
Because Barney's Feline Rescue had their cats, and I had to go see them. So like, I don't need any more bed.
Oh yeah, there were so many cats. Yes.
Nice.
Well, so the feline-only exam room, we do not let dogs in. Because dogs and cats have different pheromones, and so when the cats come in, and if they just smell, you know, dog urine or whatever dogs smell, they instantly get more worked up. So our feline only exam room is right at the entrance. We get them in. We have a heating pad, we have a window, we have pheromones, we have cat toys, cat treats.
Awesome.
I've worked in many clinics, and yes, we still get an upset kitty every once in a while, but even owners are like, oh my gosh, my cat's never been this calm at the vet.
That's cool.
We do exams by the window, we do them on the heating pad, like it's been really amazing. So even on the tours yesterday, I had my tour guides, I said, if people have their dogs, make sure you ask them to stay on the outside of it so we don't even get the smell from today in there.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you caught them, but I watched, they did a really good job.
Oh, your people yesterday were so cool, because I was like, I had a mission, not just to come and check out the facility and do the fun stuff. I had a mission yesterday, and I had 4 or 5 things I needed to get done. Talking to you and meeting you was one, to try to get you here in the boardroom, which I succeeded at. But I asked a couple of questions. They were like, let me help you. And they were just on it. And I mean, I was asking like far out questions. It had nothing to do with like, they're probably like, what is she doing?
No.
But I wanted to find out some stuff because I came for a mission. And everybody was so nice.
So that's part of our experience, and the culture is we want people to feel welcome, and we're extremely picky when it comes to who works with us, because again, we often are dealing with people on really bad days, and you still have to be very compassionate, have a smile, be empathetic. And I couldn't be luckier with the people. And the cool thing is we're very active on social media, and so that's where a lot of people actually find us. I'll have to give you some links for like show notes.
Absolutely. Give us. We'll put it all up for you.
Yeah.
I'll get your links
And
up.
I think that's why we have such good success with the people that we attract, because they have the same core values as us.
Do you find, I mean, I'm off the cuff here a little bit, but do you find that you're servicing clientele, pet parents outside of your Hallsville Centralia area?
Yeah.
I'll get it. But do you feel like you're starting to get that outside community too?
Yeah, a lot of North Columbia, because we're not that far away.
That's good to know, because that's my service area.
Yeah. A lot of Mexico, Clark, Harrisburg, because a lot of those places, they're either coming from are going up to like Moberly, or they're coming into Columbia.
Right.
And it's just a really populated area, so it's just a booming area. Even though we're in the country, we're not in a specific town, it's still a very populated area.
Well, I mean, like I said, I was, well, I shouldn't have been, because Diane and Connie with Barney's was raised about you all the time.
Yeah.
So I shouldn't have been surprised, but I think I was just like, wow, this is like different.
Yeah.
And only because, you know, I live in Columbia and usually, you know, go to the places that are in the city or, you know, in the district area or whatever. So it's a lot different. And I know from experience from different friends of mine who has done veterinary for like cattle and bigger animal, that also provides kind of a different outlook too, that you and your husband probably have, that people don't realize probably reflect on, to even cats and dogs and domesticated.
Yes.
Right? So, I mean, that's another thing too, that's a backwards thing that people probably don't get and think about. Do you guys service like birds and rabbits and things like that or anything? 'Cause I know that's a hard one to find.
It is.
We've had stuff for rabbits and birds and all kinds of crazy stuff, and that's a tough one.
We're definitely not exotic experts.
Okay.
Though we built to grow, and I'm hoping as we grow we can diversify. Right now, it's like cats and dogs are the biggest, but I see plenty of chickens for everyone with like the backyard poultry.
Oh, we've talked about chickens all day today.
Oh my gosh.
This has been a chicken kind of day.
Yes.
We saw ya.
Lots of chickens, plenty of sheep and goats. And we actually, my husband and I, neither are equine vets, but we do have contacts to pass on. And all of that, again, is things that we can grow into. We've just completed our first year of business, which was a big feat. We also have a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old.
Oh my.
I was carrying my newborn on the construction site all year last year.
Oh, wow.
Like, that's how
Oh, yeah. That's awesome.
So
Awesome.
And we have had actually quite a few vets reach out to us asking, like, when are you ready to grow? And we can keep diversifying as we add. But we obviously have to be at a better place financially before we can add on more doctors and have a better steady stream, because we'll have some days where we're just slammed and then other days where we're a little slow because we've only been established for a year. So, and that being said, we typically can get pet owners in much quicker.
You told me that yesterday.
Yeah.
That's key.
Yeah.
For right now, especially.
And it can change. Like I do tell people, like, yes, we can get you in very quickly right now, but as we grow and we get busier, we will likely get booked out, you know.
Yeah.
But right now, a lot of people, they're like, I love my vet in Columbia, but I can't get in for 2 weeks and my dog's ear really hurts. It's like, you can come to us, I can help your dog's ear, and you can go back to them. You don't have to stay.
I like to hear that because, you know, I think people get, and I know even in our profession, I am not the competitor type person at all. I go down my own road and I drive in my own road, I'm doing my own thing. I don't care what other people are doing and all that, but I think a lot of times people will assume, well, they're a vet or they're the this, and they don't talk and they don't know each other.
No, we all know each other.
They're the competitive thing, or I would never want to hurt my vet's feelings.
Yeah.
Well, we all want good pet care. We
Mhm.
want professional, awesome pet care.
Yeah.
And sometimes I myself and you just said you can't perform that,
Mhm.
and somebody else can.
Yeah.
And pet parents need to know that. That's another reason why I really like doing what I'm doing with my podcast here in the boardroom, because here in the boarding room, I can be friends with everybody and show that we're all in it
Mhm.
together
Oh, yeah.
without that
Yeah.
on my back. Like, well, you're a pet sitter, you can't talk to somebody else, and you can't. Are you bored and you can't talk to
No.
someone who boards? That's crazy.
No, that's
Sorry.
silly. It's very silly. Yeah.
And so that's good that you're in that, because you sound like you're right in the pocket with a bunch of us that have been working together for years.
Mhm.
So tell me, what services do you provide?
So for the most part, any regular general practice veterinary services, so from vaccines to microchipping to surgeries, not just spays and neuters, but lots and lots of mass removals, dentals, obviously pet illness appointments, ears, skin, GI, and I mean all up until like the surgeries you don't do very often, so like enucleations or amputations or splenectomies, and there's always certain surgeries that's like, oh man, I don't have, like orthopedics, I haven't done a lot of that, but I know a guy, who I can call and say, hey, can I send them your way, and they're also local.
That's great.
So just knowing the right people to contact
Yeah.
if it's something that I can't do is...
That is what every pet parent should be looking for, is that person who will refer you on to somebody else or help you. Like, you don't ever leave anybody stranded. Like,
No.
here's something happening and oh my gosh, well, we don't do that. Sorry, click and hang up the phone.
Yeah.
Who does that? So that's a great thing. I connected with you right away yesterday, and I knew, I was like, she's a country girl and she
We
knows.
like to cater to all levels, because you and I both know that you can have some owners that want to do absolutely everything for their pet. And then, you have other owners who, they love their pet, but they can't do all the things, but that pet still has a really, really good life. It's much,
Yeah, exactly.
and you got to give people options.
Yeah, exactly.
And you have to
And
work with
give
them.
them grace, because
Yeah.
not everybody's in the same spot, or
Yeah.
they don't understand, or some people just can't afford certain things. And you
Yes.
have to give people grace for that.
Yeah.
That's so true. So tell me, so we're 1 year. What is your extra special, super duper awesome? I'm going to do everything I can when someone walks into our office experience that you want to really portray.
So there's so many little details, but one thing is, so most people, they come into a busy vet clinic and you walk in the front door and the receptionist is slammed on the phone and you're getting like drugged by your dog and you're like, do they know I'm here? Do they not know I'm here? Do I sit down? Do I not sit down? Most of our phone answering I have done in the back of the building. I have a special room for that.
Oh, wow.
So, and not that some phone answering does happen in the front, but most of it's in the back. But my girls up front, they focus on the client and the pet.
Wow.
They're get them in, greet them, make them feel special, have the treats ready, and obviously make sure they can have treats. Like the first thing you get to a vet clinic and you get their weight. Do your dogs like getting on the scale? Most don't.
Yeah. Most of them are like, what is that big thing? I'm not getting on there.
Yeah. And so whenever, you're trying to get dogs on the scale, they're getting more upset and more anxious and more scared. And by the time they get into the exam room and see the vet, they're already terrified. Our scale actually is level with the floor. I was there with the baby the day they chiseled out the concrete.
Oh my gosh.
To fit the scale perfectly. So dogs just walk straight onto the scale. We typically throw treats on it. I mean, some of them it's still a different texture, so they're a little nervous, but that's something you don't think of with getting their weights.
Right.
But a lot of dogs are terrified of the scale.
That's
And
true.
it makes it much better. They get them into the room. A lot of times I do a lot of exams on the floor because a lot of dogs don't like to be lifted onto the table. They're like dancing around, trying to escape, so especially if I have an anxious dog, dogs do not like a person to come in towering over them. It's terrifying. So usually my go-to is like walking in, I have my treats, I just sit on the floor and I'm looking up at the owner and talking to them and seeing if I'm gaining trust with the dog that way. Or I just do whatever's best with the pet, to make them more comfortable.
Well, that's cool. That's a good way. That's a good thought. I mean, it sounds like you really thought things through.
Yeah.
Sort of like I said, you've done it for a long time, so you've experienced probably a lot of different people's scenarios and good things and the bad things. It sounds like you guys have thrown it together.
Speaking of the bad things, did you go into the condolence room yesterday?
I didn't.
Oh my gosh! Next time you're there, I have a room with a private entrance and exit. And so whenever we're dealing with really sad things, usually those animals don't look very good. The owners are like not wanting people to see them on their last day, other people to see them. But you can park on the side of the building. There's a private entrance and exit. So whenever you are having like your last final goodbyes with your pet, you're not walking around the rest of the hospital. There's actually a mural on the wall in there that's painted, but we do all the checking out in the room. You don't have to do the really sad thing and walk in front of a lobby full of people.
Oh wow, that's amazing.
It's a game changer, and we do a lot of really sad things in that room, but we can also use it for safety purposes with like contagious animals. They're confined, they're not in the rest of the building. Or dog aggressive or dog reactive dogs, we use that room. They don't have to be around the rest of the dogs in the clinic. They come in and out privately without seeing any other pets. It's like one of the most used rooms that we have.
It's funny that you talk about that. My husband and I this year, we put down 4 animals just this year. And if you saw the big rock in the front of the house, all the baby rocks are down there with all their names on them. But that's a tough one because you do have different types of people, and their points of how they handle things with that is all in different categories. And I'm sure there's probably there's some therapy person there who knows all that, but that's a great thing to have because it does give them that privacy, and I've never thought about that. Like, I've been there. I have 15 headstones outside, and I still have 11 animals in my house.
How it happened. Usually those memories are core memories that you never forget.
And you kind of, I know Scott and I, we have a lot more cats than we've had dogs, but we've even had a few cats that literally, when they did the injection, they didn't really want to die yet, and it's like gets you more emotionally, and there's weird things. People don't get that. So that's a really cool thing, and then you can just slip on out of there, and
no one knows you're there.
And have to go back.
It's a life changer because I worked in a clinic, and I've loved all the clinics I've worked in, but one of them specifically was a walk-in only. So it was a madhouse during walk-in hours, but you would have these owners holding these pets that they were getting ready to euthanize, sitting in a really busy exam or lobby next to these healthy puppies, and it was horrible. I just felt for those owners. So whenever we designed this, I knew I wanted to get that right because those memories, they're with you forever.
They are, and it's a special time for most people, especially with children and stuff that have to bring their kids and explain it and all those things. Yeah, because that you kind of go through that. Pets are your family. For most people, pets are your family. Yeah. So that's just part of it. So that's a great thing. I did not go in there.
You're welcome to come look at it.
I'm going to have to come back now. Now I got to come back. I got to go back up there and see that.
It's actually, when you come, it's a mural of my childhood dog that we grew up with on the wall from an original picture. It's really special.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I love that. So you've done your first big year. You've got the big year out of the way. What's coming up new for you guys? Maybe starting in January through the next year, or what's your plan? Or
oh man, just to continue to grow, continue to get the word out, continue to build clientele so we can expand services. Because again, I shouldn't say this very loud because there's actually a very, very big vet shortage right now. But for me to have a few of them already reach out to us has been really amazing. And it'll be nice to also have a little bit of a break with the having another vet in the house to help. So I'm hoping like in the next year or so we'll be busy enough to maybe bring on another vet. That way I can focus more on the business and growing the business and what makes us special.
Right. And I'm going to say, when you have people coming to you wanting to work for you, that is something that doesn't happen all the time.
It's a feeling I can't get used to. It's just, I don't know. Yeah.
We've just hired our first person, and I've only had people. I've never solicited. I've only had people come, and I've done interviews, but they've asked us, and now same thing with this person too, and it tells you that you're doing something right.
I hope so.
Yeah. So it's either the feeling or how you're handling things or something they see in you that you're doing that's fascinating for them to want to come and work with you. So kudos to that, because that's a lot right there. Mm-hmm. I am so glad to have gotten to meet you, and I'm so glad my mission yesterday was to get up there and experience what you guys were doing. And I know in the future we're going to do some other stuff together. I can tell you right now.
Oh, I would love to talk about anything that you wanted to talk about.
We're going to do some stuff together, I know. And I really appreciate you coming here in the boarding room with me today. And so with that being said, this is Bobbi in the boarding room. See you next time.
Bye-bye.